When I completely saw several videos involving this whole situation on YouTube, I eventually knew that I was going to make a video regarding on it eventually. And all I can say is that I'm really getting close to anxiety and I'm not acting sarcastic. I'm really serious. This FTC COPPA thing has been so out of control ever since YouTube and Google had to pay the fine 3 months ago. And then not only that, last month YouTube made a video about the fact that if all of your videos are marked for kids, you will probably not get any ads or any comments. But if they're not marked for kids, the fine is $42,000. Just me saying that, it's not unacceptable. It's unforgiven. I'm not making this up. This is serious. It's difficult for me to actually process on the fact that even creators like us who are not getting paid on YouTube are gonna suffer through this. Not to mention, it will lead to our channels completely disappearing forever with no resolution whatsoever. And what I mean resolution is the fact that we cannot resolve on this whole situation with the FTC and how COPPA has been around for the last 20 years. If you don't know what COPPA is, it's a law that it's encouraged parents to protect their children no matter what from anything going on. Even if it's on YouTube, social media, or anything like that. Now, me personally, I can understand the fact that they're trying their best to protect their children, but at the same time, what they don't understand is that they keep judging websites for what they aren't are, and just decide to completely push the law forward, which causes creators like us to be in pure anxiety and stress. Here's something that people really need to understand. And yes, I know this says January 1st, 2019, but we all know that 2020 is going to probably be a lot more serious than what happened last year. In all honesty, this is one of those things that I've seen is probably something that needs to be fixed and probably be repaired as soon as possible. Seriously, the deletion of the video, the termination of your account is just way too difficult for not for kids' choice to pick. It's not acceptable. And the fact that if one video can easily destroy the entire video, your entire channel and your career on YouTube, it would probably be a really depressing way after all the hard work you went through. And believe me, this is one of those things that the FTC just don't understand of what we do best on YouTube. I would easily go against them, but I don't want to go too far, despite the fact that what they're doing right now is crossing way farther to the line. Now, I get it. Google and YouTube went through a situation where they had to pay the fine months ago. But at the same time, I really wish that they probably did some resolvements with the FTC about this. If you don't believe me, I really think that the FTC just doesn't understand what we usually do, don't understand that YouTube isn't meant for kids whatsoever. And the fact that you cannot sue a company that is a platform for kids is just really devastating for any content creator to actually continue on with their lives, including myself. I have watched several videos just to see the situation involving COPPA because it got my interest. And as you can tell, I see some positive and negativity. Yes, YouTube is a place where we express our personal opinions, but at the same time, we just usually on the board on if we're able to survive or not. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that anyone, by the time the next decade has come, would be safe from this whole situation. I'm serious. I cannot even imagine if anyone who has been on YouTube for so many years with so much dedication and a passion for what they love, and then it ends up doing, and now they end up with a huge law that they cannot get over no matter what. It really makes me really depressed. Now look, here's something onto why kids shouldn't be on YouTube. If they shouldn't be on YouTube, then they should have been on YouTube Kids. YouTube has made this app for probably, for how many years, but I think it could be 2012 or something, but they actually think ahead of the situation and actually made an app dedicated to kids from 6 to 12-year-olds or 13-year-olds, depending on how old the kid is. I don't know. My point is that I think that this app alone, I did try for myself, and I did look at my videos years ago, and they were accepted for kid friendly, but some of them not much. This is one of those things that the FTC just doesn't understand, and the fact that they're just gonna go along with it really makes me convinced that they don't have phones whatsoever. And what I mean by that is that they don't do social media or any of that kind of stuff. You know, I understand that the FTC isn't like social media people, but at the same time, the fact that they're just completely ignoring everything and just completely doing what they did in the last 20 years involving COPPA, I honestly think that they probably didn't see the big picture of what YouTube has and what the other apps that are basically spin-off apps or something like that. Like, really, if I was a parent or a babysitter and I allowed them to go on YouTube, I would immediately pick YouTube Kids. I know they won't be able to find a lot of stuff that they've been watching, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure that if you have your kids distracted with their iPads or computers or anything, YouTube Kids is the place that would easily keep them occupied and also keep them safe. I just think that COPPA and the FTC just don't usually see stuff like this. And the fact that they're going against content creators and give us a fine of $42,000 per video is just so unreal. And I'm really serious. No matter what happens in 2020, could be the end of all of us and the end of YouTube. YouTube has been something for me that really makes me really happy on the inside whenever I make videos. I know some of you guys probably seen this for so many other videos involving the ages that people have watched, but look at this. The amount of people that have watched my content are from 18 to 24. The second place, 25th to 34. Third place, 35 to 44. And then just closely in fourth place, 13 to 17. Just look at this. This is just one of those things that the FTC just doesn't understand when it comes to YouTube. YouTube is a really, really popular place. And while we did some kind of violations when it comes to the rules on YouTube, we still learn our mistakes no matter what. I mean, think about it. If I still have my channel going on in the beginning of this year, and probably still are for the rest of next year, I will probably use so many subscribers depending on what happens when it comes to the amount of people that I got. On the 3rd of December, which was several days ago, I lost 10 subscribers, and for a second I thought it was mainly my videos and how poorly I did, but it's probably because it was because of the COPPA situation that YouTubers are quitting. And as of now, I'm completely below 1,500 subscribers. And that is saying a lot from someone who made it to 1,000 subscribers this year. And the amount of subscribers I've on was something that I didn't believe would actually been happening, on how I actually did some ideas that actually get some people's attentions on. Imagine you going through this situation, making so many videos every day, well, not really every day, but once in a while, to put your care and heart into it, and then you get this, a huge wall that you cannot pass, because something that the FTC is so concerned about, except that they don't ever look at the other side of what YouTube has to offer. That's what I really see in this. This is one of those things that really could damage me in the inside if my YouTube channel gets pretty much deleted forever. Those 3.5 years was something that I not only worked hard on, but I actually enjoy myself to an extent. This is just really difficult for me to actually move on, because YouTube is something that actually makes me happy and actually makes me occupied. I did witness YouTube at the end of 2009, which was almost 10 years ago. And then in 2010, I meet new and talented people who actually really did really good at their job. And in my opinion, I really liked their talent for what they did, which really makes me to become a YouTuber of myself. Granted, most of the videos I saw were either gaming channels, and that was during the time where I didn't know that the 6th generation of video game consoles were dead and are not selling well, and we were in the 7th generation. But still, this is one of those moments that actually makes me really feel to the possibility of my channel being gone forever. I mean, when you see people like McJuggernuggets, which I was going to make a YouTube tribute to at the end of this month, but I decided not to. But after seeing everything of what's going on, I can really guarantee you that McJuggernuggets is just trying to avoid any unresponsible consequences that is going to happen to him. And I really think that's pretty much onto why it took him this long to actually figure out of what he's going to do next. I mean, really think about it. YouTubers who have been making videos for so long have an audience that isn't catered to children. Now, for me personally, most of my videos, even though that some of them are mainly kid-friendly, some of them, mainly my reaction videos, aren't really the case. And believe me, I just cannot go through the stress of going into my videos and checking if my videos are kid-friendly or not. Because as far as I'm concerned, me uploading these videos is something I do to give my originality of my channel some kind of interest. The fact that we're dealing with this, and the fact that we don't have an option of what we're going to do in the near future, really makes us destroy all our dedication, and also completely breaks us in the inside. What if you don't like the fact that I made so many videos for so long, ever since 2013, you need to understand that I have a passion on making these videos. I want to at least express what I feel on any content I talked about, and if they all go away, all those 3.5 years would have been nothing. That is something that that's something that the FTC just doesn't understand. They completely ignore YouTube Kids, and they just go against us because we have did something we never mean to do towards children on YouTube. If any of you guys are going to say about Daddy of 5 or Family of 5, that's a completely different story. Because even if those videos involving child abuse, they were still catered to an adult crowd. Despite the fact that whatever you say about it. Yeah, now I can't defend it because it's really obvious that they don't deserve to be defended after the crimes that they did. But when you really actually think about what you've been doing and actually did something for an audience that you have a target on and not something that the FTC is forcing you to do, it really gives you a motivation on to keep going and going and going and going and going and going and going to continue on until you feel like, you know what, I'm done making YouTube videos because I've done enough. That is something that what Tony Stark says, part of the journey is the end from your own motivations, not by the FTC or anyone involving COPPA. Now look, I know I can't say that you should ignore COPPA or the FTC, but at the same time, you need to actually see of what they're trying to affect, and this could easily damage YouTube probably in the first month or the following month. I highly doubt that YouTube will be able to survive for the rest of 2020 or the rest of the decade. As far as I'm concerned, the only sites I can only recommend is Dailymotion and Vimeo. And those aren't really as popular as YouTube since that they don't Vimeo doesn't give you a lot of space for upload so you can upload all your videos. In Dailymotion, I have no idea what is going on, but I cannot make an account whatsoever. It's just really ridiculous to actually make a different account on Dailymotion. Now, the only thing I can say regarding on the good side of things is that you can actually leave a comment on the regulations government website on what you don't want to happen in the first of 2020 if the COPPA thing affects on YouTube personally or permanently, or sign a petition to actually work together to stop the FTC from ruining YouTube by next year. I've already wrote a comment about it, and I kept my name anonymous so that I don't have to easily get into so much attention. Even if I completely exposes that on my YouTube channel, I still want to keep my name really anonymous. We all remember Walt Disney, right? One of the most famous rest in peace people that actually made Disney a really huge phenomenon in media. I really think that if the COPPA existed way back then and it actually goes against Disney, they would probably deal with a really struggle that they will probably won't be around today, and the renaissance of Disney will probably never happen. And I'm really serious. Imagine this. If all the Disney films are only for kids and not for adults, and the alternative that we live in is that everything that we've seen in these Renaissance movies are nothing or have no adult content whatsoever. This would easily bankrupt Disney to an extent, and they will probably never have more movies in the future, nor the Disney Plus thing whatsoever, because they cater to so many audiences from ages from either the youngest or the oldest, because they know that if they completely do all their movies towards kids, it will easily destroy the reputation. Which is why movies like A Home on the Range and A Troll in Century Park, despite the fact it's a Don Bluth's movie, became bombs because they were not catered to adults. That's something that the FTC needs to see when it comes to media, not just social media, but media in general. They completely don't even see the fact that movies like Disney are trying to cater on other audiences. I mean, Frozen 2 that just came out almost a month ago has gained so much money because it catered to both adults and kids. And that's probably the great direction on why content creators do on YouTube. Now, before any of you ask, yes, it is understandable that other YouTube channels can do kid-friendly stuff. And it's nothing more than adult content. But at the same time, this also really affects the kid content more because if even if the FTC does win this and completely kept the rules permanent by next year, I don't think that the kids will be able to have anything to watch. And no, I'm not talking about the fact that they'll watching adult content like we do. I'm talking about the fact that they don't watch our content like other ages after 13 do. Like I've mentioned before, look at the analytics involving the audience that I showed you. The 13 through 17 is 6.5, and there was no ages below 12 that I don't think that anyone will ever watch my videos. And even if they did, despite the fact that my content is mostly kid friendly, despite the fact that I'm trying to appeal to a older audience, I will probably lose all my subscribers and go back to square one automatically. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that the subscribers that I've completely got involving 1,000 will probably go drop to probably back to 50 or even less. That's how bad this is. That's something that the FTC just doesn't usually understand when it comes to people making their style of content on YouTube, because they have their own style that wasn't meant for kids whatsoever. And believe me, making that first video of involving what I've been through since June 14th, 2016, making a video involving the rant involving Human and Princess Twilight, because it was something that I had in mind just a month after I become a bully and days after I got my iPad to make videos on, was something that I have to learn so many rights and wrongs in order to actually be relevant in some other way. Now, granted, my video making skills isn't the best, but at the same time, I at least try. And before I continue on, let me show you this. A week ago, I paid over $1,000 on an iMac Pro with 256 gigabytes. Why do I buy this? Because I wanted to desperately improve my videos in some other way. And believe me, I'm trying to actually use this laptop on the best of my capabilities. Granted, I am making my video off of my iPad, but I really want to actually have my money being paid on this device. Not to mention that $42,000, that would have to make me buy 42 or 43 MacBook Pros just to actually make it to that amount of money. That is not acceptable whatsoever. Do you honestly think that this is the kind of stuff that people need to pay $42,000 per video if they're not kid friendly? It will be a nightmare to actually go through all the videos that you've made since the very beginning. It's not our responsibility to look at some of the videos that we've made over the years. That would give us a nightmare. It would give us a way more struggle and have no other choice to quit, which is the last thing that anyone else would do if the COPPA thing comes for effect next year. And believe me, whether if you watch my audio videos or not, you need to understand that during the times where I didn't know what I was supposed to do involving making these videos until 2018, I still have passion and care. YouTube has meant something to me for so long, and at this point, I honestly don't even know if I'm able to survive because of the videos I make. Because I don't even remember if some of these videos are either inappropriate for kids or completely something for kid related. There's something you need to understand. If I use my channel and all the dedication that I completely lost since 2016, I will probably be broken on the inside. And me buying that laptop that I've been saving all my money, despite the fact that it took me months to think about it, will probably be the biggest waste of money ever. And it's not my responsibility that I bought this laptop, because if I break it accidentally or I cause some viruses on it, then maybe it's my fault. But the fact that the FTC, who are completely the ones causing this situation on YouTube, would easily damage so many content creators that they probably don't know what to do if they continue their lives, if their YouTube channels are completely gone forever. I'm really serious. This is something that YouTube and the FTC really needs to fix, because if they don't fix it and 2020 happens, then I'll probably be damaged, and if I am forced to pay a fine of $42 per video, I will probably end up in jail, which is another reason to say this is so unforgiving. It's just so difficult, and it's ridiculous. I'm serious. There are so many lines when it comes to making things for kids and not, but this is way over the line that the FTC really needs to look in social media closely than just protecting or controlling kids who have social media objects in their arms, in their hands. And as far as I'm concerned, if they actually resolve this whole situation on making everything right by having the kids go to YouTube Kids, something that it's been a thing since probably the last 7 years or so, and actually leave us alone and let us do what we do best, then I really think that YouTube will probably still be around. Like I said, those are websites where you can actually make a comment on the situation, but don't be extremely rude or harsh to them. They won't take it easy no matter what. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's still a hope. We still have some time, and the deadline on making on writing your comment to the FTC is in the next 2 days. There's not a lot of time for you to actually make a video or to actually write a comment on this situation. But I can guarantee you that you have to do your best to make sure that what they're doing could destroy YouTube in the next several months, depending on what happens. And I'm really serious. I want my name anonymous to this because I want to keep my identity secret from the FTC. And and what I mentioned to them is about the Disney Renaissance and films involving Walt Disney, like I mentioned before. This is something that I really hope that the FTC took notice, because I'm pretty sure that the FTC might recognize Disney in some other way. And if they look into closer on how they accomplished over the years, I really think that there could be a way to actually get rid of this whole COPPA situation out of YouTube for good. Now, I'm not the only one that can make a difference. It's really obvious that it's going to be a difficult task to do that. But we can all join together to make a difference. I know there's a way to make us keep our channels on YouTube in some other way. I know we can actually do something right to make everyone, even the kids, happy and get what they want. I mean, for the comments that we've been giving the FTC for so long, I really think that we probably did our seriousness to actually tell the FTC of what we want and what we want to keep on YouTube personally. Believe me, I know we can fight this. I know we can actually keep our channels in some other way. We just don't have enough time, and if we won't be able to actually get what we want and actually keep our content forever on YouTube until we actually decide to quit YouTube, then as far as I'm concerned, we pretty much don't have any other option except either get a job in the outside world. Yes, there are other options on social media, but at the same time, YouTube is still my main hobby. I love fanfic readings. That people, even if you don't watch my fanfic readings most of the time, I still try my best to keep them really relevant no matter what. And the fact that I completely make difficult videos like the Lonely's Top 10 video game endings, which was difficult for me to actually do, not to mention the Mario and Sonic the Epic Little Games video on why it's the best in the series, you can tell that I have passion for this. And I want to do everything I can to make this better and keep my channel relevant and keep everyone else's channel relevant for the rest of the time. Look, I understand that websites can't last forever. It's understandable, but not like this. It doesn't work like this. I just don't think that it doesn't even work whenever you're completely making the video on if it's supposed to be kid-friendly or not. And the videos I have set up, what you're looking at right now, that I'm saving for next year and for this month, is something that I've worked so hard and completely on hold. Because I have no other option to save these on my device. Even on my MacBook Pro, I won't be able to storage all the videos I have. Quantity is one thing, but the FTC getting in the way is still unforgiven. I know I keep saying that so many times, but I'm really serious. I cannot take the stress of going through this so many times on how it's really affecting so many people in so many ways. Believe me, I've went through a lot to get so many subscribers and actually making so many good content and actually make my content at least good for the best of my capabilities. But if this COPPA thing destroys me, then it would damage me on the inside. And the fact that I will probably get consequences for some of my videos not being kid-friendly, it will probably lead to further consequences that I cannot go further. I'm serious. I really hope that we actually make a stand for this and actually show the FTC more of what we do best. They just don't usually see what we see on the internet. Freedom of speech is one thing, but controlling someone else's opinions and what they're supposed to do because of something they've been loving to do since YouTube became a thing in 2005 is just destroying our past and childhood of what we went through in YouTube. I may have a childhood with watching movies, but YouTube, despite the fact that I've witnessed it, I completely saw YouTube for the first time earlier this decade, will probably be wiped away, and I will probably have nothing else to do with my time. I know there are other options I have, but please, this has to. I really want YouTube to remain as it is, and we never ever completely caused any attacks or any situations on children when they watched our content. We never did that whatsoever. It's been that way since people have been making videos since 2005. And I'm pretty sure that we still respect the guidelines on YouTube. And if the FTC doesn't see that, then if what they're going to see will probably give them the big picture if COPPA really changes YouTube permanently in 2020. This was a very long video, but at the same time, this was a long time coming to the point that I really need to make this video as quickly as possible no matter what. I don't know what's going to happen to me, but we can all hope that there is still light at the end of the tunnel for all of us to keep our channels by the time we reach 2020. I'm Lonely Fanboy 4 here, and cross your fingers. I really hope we actually are safe and actually succeed at what we do best on YouTube. Believe me. You may don't see me in real life, but if you do, you will probably not going to see the same way I used to when I record my voice in all my videos. I will probably be extremely depressed and broken in the inside.